This is the 2026 Chevrolet Colorado LT. It's basic, effective, and inexpensive. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're back at Chevy Land today to go over this radiant red tint coat with jet black interior Colorado and give you all of the details. Here on the front end, we're going to find full LED lighting. Let me give you a quick look at the locator lights that will come on. Hopefully you can see this with the sun shining on everything, but you can see some of the light coming on here on the front end. As far as this model goes, there's your turn signal indicators. All of that's going to be here. Now you do have full LED lighting with your daytime running lights, your projector beam style headlights, and then you're going to have your fog lights down here on the lower portion of the bumper. That's going to get the job done for you. Not any gloss black here. That's a good thing in my opinion, because you're going to be driving this model potentially in some conditions where you can get some damage from rocks and things like that, little chips that can come up. So that's not going to be an issue. And right here, we're going to have our forward-facing camera. There's your front view camera right there. Not sure why it doesn't have a front camera washer, but you know what? At this price point, maybe that should be expected. It actually comes in under $50,000, which the reason I say that's inexpensive is because the average new vehicle costs $50,000 right now. We're going to have our 17-inch wheels with this model, so you're going to have a lot of sidewall. That's going to help you out with your ride quality. Work our way up here. We're going to have the gray color here, a little bit of a gloss finish to that on your side view mirrors. Now these are going to be manually folding side view mirrors, but you know what? They do fold. They're going to be power adjustable. They're going to have blind spot monitoring built in. And here is your remote. Lock, unlock, remote start, and the panic button will be right there. And something else that you'll notice right here. Do I need to do a tutorial on how to use that for some of you? Depends on how old you are, I guess. But the good thing is, if the battery in your key fob or your remote, whichever you choose to call it, dies, there is a key inside. That's what you insert right here to let you get in and out. You don't have to worry about that being an issue. And something else that's also helpful here, only on your front door handles, but there it is, the passive entry button to lock and unlock all four doors from the front door. I would love to see that be a standard feature. If it's on the front door, it should also be here on the rear. And we finish things off with, once again, our LED lighting here on the rear. And while this truck isn't very high off the ground, it is nice to have your corner steps right here so you can hop up there and gain access to the bed. You can get in, get out using those, or just get up there to reach a little bit further in if you need to. Under the hood of this particular model will be the 2.7 liter Turbo Max 4-cylinder engine that puts out 310 horsepower and 430 pounds-feet of torque. All that will be mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, being that that's not a monstrous motor, how about your MPGs? Well, we'll show you right here on the window sticker. We're looking at 19 city, 24 highway, 21 combined, and 4.8 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. Your gas tank size will come in at 21.4 gallons. How about driving distance on a single tank of gas? In the city, you're looking at about 406 miles. On the highway, that jumps to 514 and 450 miles combined. One thing to keep in mind about that is the fact that, yes, those are not guaranteed numbers. They're potentials that are given. You might be above that, might be a little below. It just depends on a number of variables. If you're looking to tow, well, this is definitely the truck to do it with. 7,700 pounds of potential towing capacity. We're going to have our nice dampened tailgate. That's going to come down nice and slow, so slow that I need to give it a little bit of help. 1,710 pounds of potential payload. It would be nice to see these trucks come standard with a bed liner, but the good thing is they do have the tie downs. We're going to have those in a few different areas. We're going to have our 120 volt power outlet located right over there, and a little bit of extra storage here within the tailgate itself. It's going to be right here in this area. Not a lot, but you know what? It is there. You could actually put some ice in here if you wanted to, and put some drinks in there, some small drinks, whatever you wanted to, kind of use that as a multitasking area. But quite a very versatile truck in a multitude of ways. Now I'm going to give you a real life test here of leg space. Now the front seat here on the passenger side is way back. I'm not claustrophobic, so I could handle this. I still feel pretty good, but if the seat was obviously a little further forward, the seat back was set up just a little bit higher, it wouldn't be so bad, but there actually is a reasonable amount of space back here. The only thing I wish was different would be being able to have a little more recline built into these seats. They are sitting up at a pretty much a 90-degree angle. Not horrible, but it's nice to have that adjustability built in. And speaking of that, I don't have a lot of room to turn around, but let's see if I can do this. There is your fold-down armrest with the cup holders built in. And something that I know is a big deal to a lot of people, we're gonna have our air conditioning vents right here. There's gonna be a couple of USB ports below that, and I don't know how well you can see it, but then another 120 volt power outlet. And if somebody is extra thirsty, there are 2 extra cup holders right here. Storage space, we're gonna have our door bins on the door panel over there, and we're gonna also have the armrest that is good size. I do wish that that area in the front was a little more flat. This area right here, I don't know how well you can see it, but my hand kind of sits up a little bit and it's a little narrow. Maybe not the end of the world, just one of those things. We're also going to have the rear seat pockets on the back of the driver and the passenger seats. The sticker price, as I mentioned earlier, under $50,000, $42,160. Let's see what else you get for that price. Not a whole lot to talk about with our upper console up here, but depending on what you need to do, there are a few little controls up here. You've got OnStar and you've got your help right there. If you need it SOS, all of that's going to be here. You can turn your lights on and off and all that good stuff. Whatever you need to do, you can do that. And we will have the glove box right here. Nothing out of the ordinary, but there it is. There's the space within. And we're going to have our door panel over there on the passenger side that has a little bit more space with the armrest and the larger door bin. Now we'll work our way over here to the driver's side. I will grab the camera so I can give you a little bit better view, a little more close up. There's your control for your power side view mirrors that we talked about earlier in the video. And then you will have the 1 touch down and 1 touch up front window for the driver's side. All the others are going to be 1 touch down, and then you'll have to hold it to bring them back up. Not a whole lot more to talk about right here. We'll have your lock and unlock buttons right there. The steering wheel is heated, as you can see right here. That's your button for the heated steering wheel. It gets nice and warm. And underneath is going to be the release right there that allows you to adjust it, tilt, and telescopically. You have adaptive cruise control. That's going to be right here. Voice commands. On the back of the steering wheel, you can adjust the volume and what you're listening to as far as your controls go. Over here on the left-hand side, you've got that turn signal lever that is such a grand mystery to so many people driving down the road, and you can control your windshield wipers right there too. Nothing on this side to talk about because your shifter is right down there. Still not a push-button shifter. That seems to be very unpopular with a lot of people. Via this button, if you don't like what you see on the driver's display, you can change that. You can change the overall look, as you can see, depending on what you want to see. And there we are back to where we started. Now I'm going to hand the camera back and we'll go over here to the center screen. There's a lot to talk about here. Something else about the driver's display, if you go right here to vehicle status and then we go here to gauges, depending on what you might want to see, you can actually change that here. If you want to see your coolant temperature, you can push add to driver display right there, and then that's going to show up on the driver's display. You can remove that if you want to. There it is right down there, so you can see that, and then we can just remove that if we want to. You can do that with everything else that is here that you can see on the screen right there. It just depends on what you want to see. But just to show you some of that that's going to be there. You're going to have My Chevrolet, the Play Store. You have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. You wirelessly pair your smartphone. And something that's really nice here at this price point is that you have multiple camera views. I showed you the front camera earlier. There is your rear view camera. We're going to have the dual overhead views. Take a quick look at what we have right there. And you'll have your side view mirrors as well. So depending on what you need to see, you can see that. And you can also have that overhead 360-degree view right there. And then if you're going to hitch up to a trailer, guess what? You can see that. You can do that all by yourself. Pretty easy to deal with. I like that. Something that is just a nice convenience. Now, we'll go here into settings, and you can see what all we have. I'm not going to go through everything, but just to show you a few of the things that are here. But I know a lot of people like to know what's under vehicle. So you're going to have your audio settings right here. If you're looking for that, there it is right there. We can go and come in here as we need to, depending on what we need to do. We can go in here into sound, and you can make all of your adjustments depending on how you want things to sound. because I know everybody has their preferences where that is concerned. Teen driver mode, you have your rear seat reminder and buckle to drive, climate and air quality. A big one right here, your safety features, your collision and detection systems. You've got your forward collision avoidance. You're going to have front pedestrian braking, adaptive cruise go notifier, lane change alert, park assist. Got your park assist tow bar, rear cross traffic braking, and your rear pedestrian alert. And you can go in and make a few changes here depending on what you want to do on and off right there, or we can come in here and braking, or you can go to alert only if you want to, depending on what your situation is and what you like. You can turn that off if you want to as well. Got trailering here, climate, all of that's going to be here. We can come in here to more controls because there are some things you need to know about that are here. So you're going to have your power window lockout right there. You can go into your cameras right there if you need to. You can see what else we have. Traction control is there. Your auto high beams where you can turn that on and off. Your park assist. And then right here, one thing I do wish Chevrolet had not done is put all of your controls for your lights right here. So that is just one of my little things that I wish was still a physical control, but you can come in here and turn that on. It is easy to just leave that on auto. You can turn your fog lights on and off. All of that's going to be here just so you have an idea of what is going on with this truck. Now, something I am happy that is still going to have physical controls is underneath the screen. That's going to be our climate control buttons and everything here. You can change the temperature right there. As you can see, you know it's awfully cold in Northwest Louisiana if we have it on 82 today. And then you're going to have everything for your heated seats for the driver and the passenger right there. Heated only, not ventilated in this particular case. And then you can use your front and rear window defogger, fan speed. All of that's going to be there. And then we'll have some of our other one-touch buttons down here. If you want to turn the auto stop start feature off, make sure you go right there and you do that. You can see some of your other controls right here. We're going to have our wireless charging pad and USB ports right down here. So if you need to use that, that's going to be nice and helpful. And coming right here to the shifter, now you're going to have park, reverse, neutral, drive, and low. So if you're wondering about what exactly does that mean when you're in low right there, we're going to go all the way to L. And what that does is you are going to stay in low gear for low traction situations, but it's still going to give you all of the horsepower and torque from the engine. Now I'm going to get up here and we're going to put that back into park. There's your power parking brake. And then as we move our way back, a couple of cup holders right here. And then the center console, you can use that lid as an armrest if you wish to, or you can open that up and gain access to the space within. Now that's not all the space you have. That's a removable tray. And there's actually quite a bit of room down here. And guess what? You do have a 12-volt power outlet right here. That's something that not all GM trucks have in this day and age. I'm glad to see that that's here. We need to bring that back in other trucks, Chevrolet and GMC. All right, let's take a quick test drive. The ride quality isn't too bad for a mid-size truck, not a real heavy truck. So you'll notice a few bumps on the road, but you know what? It's not that bad. The roads here in Northwest Louisiana are that bad. They're terrible. So depending on where you live, you may not have to deal with that too much if your city and state take care of their roads properly, unlike they do here. And speaking of that, ride quality being good, the seats are comfortable as well here in the front seat. The driver's seat is power adjustable and has lumbar support. The passenger seat is going to be manually adjustable in this particular case. Just so you know what's going on where that is concerned. It's easy to see out of. I like that. And one thing to note, I've had a lot of people ask me about this in the past. You can drive with the center screen cameras on, whichever one you choose. Different people have asked about that, so I always try and make sure I mention it when I'm talking about the vehicles, but that's something that I know a lot of people want to know about. The technology is easy to learn and use. That's something I like about Chevrolet and GM in general, is while there may seem to be a lot on the screens, it's really not that hard to learn and use. Now, the brake pedal and the gas pedal are nice and responsive. You do have a decent turning radius for a mid-sized truck, and very versatile. Obviously, if you want to go four-wheel drive, that is available. It just happened that this particular truck was two-wheel drive, so that's why I haven't mentioned anything about that earlier in the video. But overall, when it comes to a mid-sized truck, you're getting a lot of truck and a lot of features for the money, and something that is definitely going to be more capable than, say, maybe the Honda Ridgeline, which I know a lot of people like. A lot of people say it's not a truck, But depending on what your needs are, if you're looking for that max towing capacity in the midsize truck class, be able to pull as much as possible, this is definitely the truck you need to be considering. And there it is, the 2026 Chevrolet Colorado LT, basic, effective, and inexpensive. Tell me what you think about this truck. It'll definitely get the job done for you for those that don't want to spend as much money but still have a very capable mid-size truck. I would like to say a special thanks to my friends at Chevyland for loaning us this truck for the day so we could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's very helpful to us. We appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and we'll see you there.